In today's news, the governor shares the COI recommendations. The premier's arraignment is set for May 13th. The acting premier addresses the COI. Honorable PENN issues a statement. All these and more when 284 returns.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home. Keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome, viewers. I'm Nia Douglas, coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. It's Friday, April 29th, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to 284 News tonight. Starting off today's news, the temporary partial suspension of the territory's constitution is among the main highlighted recommendations outlined by the Commissioner of Inquiry, COI, Sir Gary Hickenbottom, in the recently published COI report. Governor His Excellency John Rankin made this disclosure during a press conference which was held on Friday, April 29th. According to the governor, the 946-page report from Sir Hickenbottom, which provided 45 recommendations, concluded that the evidence overwhelmingly confirmed instances of corruption and poor governance practices and principles among government officials within the BVI's government system. To this end, Governor Rankin said there were 4 overarching recommendations within the report, with the temporary partial suspension of the BVI's constitution being the first.
First, he has concluded with a particularly heavy heart that unless the most urgent and drastic steps are taken, the current situation with elected officials deliberately ignoring the tenets of good governance, will go on indefinitely. He notes that the people of the BVI deserve better, and that the UK government owes them an obligation to protect them from such abuses and assist them to achieve their aspirations for self-government as a modern democratic state. He states that the continuation of the current situation will adversely affect those aspirations, and that the only way in which the relevant issues can be addressed is for there to be a temporary partial suspension of the Constitution. He accordingly recommends dissolution of the House of Assembly and cessation of ministerial government for an initial period of 2 years. During that period, he recommends a governor-led administration with such assistance as the governor considers appropriate. For example, an advisory council to advise him on the formulation of policy and the exercise of his official functions. The advisory council should reflect BVI civic society. And the Commissioner also urges the Governor to draw primarily on the pool of public service talent in the BVI to advise and aid him. The Commissioner recommends a return to ministerial government and an elected House of Assembly as soon as practicable, with the Governor taking regular advice from the Advisory Council and others on the earliest practicable date on which such government can resume.
The other recommendations from the report included the fast-tracking of the constitutional review process, as well as the conducting of several independent audits and investigations within various government organizations and statutory bodies.
The Commissioner recommends an early and speedy review of the Constitution, with the purpose of ensuring that abuses of the type he has identified do not recur, establishing a constitution that will enable the people of the BVI to meet their aspirations, including those in respect of self-government, within the context of a modern democracy. Thirdly, he recommends a curtailment of the open-ended discretionary powers held by public officials, including Cabinet. And fourthly, he recommends a series of audits and investigations which may give rise in due course to further steps, including in relation to criminal investigations.
Governor Rankin also hinted at the possibility of several criminal investigations resulting from the COI.
The Commissioner concludes that with limited exceptions, governance in areas under the control of government ministers is, at best, very poor, with principles such as openness and transparency not simply absent, but positively shunned. Proper procedures, checks and balances are absent, or patently inadequate, or ignored or bypassed. He states that the evidence in this regard is overwhelming and extends to almost all areas of government. He notes that recent good governance measures such as the Whistleblower Act and the Integrity in Public Life Act, neither of which are yet in force, have to a large extent been reactive to the work of the Commission of Inquiry, and states that, quote, "In my very firm view, the people of the BVI can have no confidence, as things currently stand, that these recent measures will be pursued and implemented effectively," unquote. Overall, the Commissioner in his report finds that the elected government in successive administrations has sought to avoid good governance. He says that in terms of governance, the people of the BVI have been served very badly in recent years, and that almost everywhere the principles of good governance, such as openness, transparency, and the rule of law, are ignored. He concludes that it is highly likely that serious dishonesty may have taken place across a broad range of government, and that there is information that a substantial number of elected officials may be involved. He makes recommendations for further investigations and possible criminal prosecution in several cases.
The governor said the findings and recommendations will now have to be discussed among himself, the Minister of Overseas Territories, the Right Honourable Amanda Millings, members of the sitting government, and opposition members. In other news, Premier and Minister of Finance Honourable Andrew Foy and Managing Director of the BVI Ports Authority, Mrs. Olivine Maynard, will have to wait until May 13th to have their arraignment read in court. This is according to information reaching our newsroom from a highly reliable source following the appearance of the duo in the United States District Court in the Southern District of Florida before Magistrate John Goodman this afternoon. According to the source, the U.S. government requested a pre-trial detention for both Premier Foy and Maynard and set an arraignment for May 13th. No bail was offered during the duo's first appearance, and as a result, they were detained. More information to come on this developing story. Up next, the acting premier says the strengthening and reforming of the systems in the BVI can take place without the suspension of the Constitution. This story and more when we return.
The beautiful Virgin Islands, or nature's little secret as some prefer, where the weather stays warm and the drinks stay cold, where men in wigs get their lawyer bills paid by governments and governments lose planes, where walls are built and prisoners escape. You vacation where we suffer. BVI love.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family. I love you. Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love, life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back, viewers. Today, the acting premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley, has issued a statement regarding the COI recommendations. The acting premier told the public that he is presently reviewing the COI recommendations and emphasized that he is very concerned about the anchor of the recommendations, which would be the partial suspension of the Constitution and direct rule by the UK. He also emphasized that the strengthening and reforming of the systems in the BVI can take place without the suspension of the Constitution.
As you will see, the anchor of these recommendations is the recommended partial suspension of the Constitution and direct rule by the UK for at least 2 years. I know that this will be of great concern to many persons, and I too am very concerned about the recommendation. What this would mean in real terms is that there would be no more elected representatives who represent the people of the districts and the territory in the House of Assembly, where laws are made for our society. There also would be no government ministers to advance the public priorities or a cabinet to approve a policy. All of this authority would be vested in the governor. The benefit of representative democracy to the public is the understanding and responsiveness of their elected representatives to their challenges, who also serve as conduits of their views, especially on reforms. I've written to Governor Rankin and also shared with UK Minister for the Overseas Territories my initial thoughts on the recommendations as a whole from the standpoint of good governance and democracy. The report makes a number of recommendations aimed at reforming and strengthening the systems of government in the Virgin Islands. In my view, these can be achieved without the partial or full suspension of the Constitution, in which direct rule would apply. The report's recommended reforms, and also actions for the governor to take up, are not mutually exclusive or contradictory to maintaining democratic governance in the territory. Constitutional powers exist under the Constitution that can be exercised if necessary.
The acting premier also spoke about the forging of a modern partnership between the UK and the BVI.
Finally, the BVI and UK are making good progress on our modern partnership, especially as we work together on medicinal cannabis, sanctions in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and strengthening government's systems. The goodwill between the BVI and UK should continue to be nurtured and not eroded by the removal of democratic governance, which has been enjoyed in these islands since 1950, when the legislature was restored. There's much more work to be done to strengthen the systems of government, but this should be done in partnership. As partners, the UK and BVI are presently working together to protect democracy in Ukraine and around the world. Let us be the example we wish to see and maintain democracy in the Virgin Islands. It is time to turn the page. As acting Premier, I am committed to continuing our modern partnership and working together in the best interests of the people of the Virgin Islands.
In other news, in a recent statement, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Marlon A. PENN, addressed the people of the Virgin Islands following the arrest of Premier Foy. PENN said, "Fellow Virgin Islanders, late yesterday we heard the shocking reports that Premier Foy was detained in the United States and is facing criminal charges as a result of an undercover operation there. We are all shocked, saddened, and even embarrassed. However, it is important that we look beyond recent events and towards healing and unity. I accept and acknowledge the gravity of this issue, as well as the other challenges and new headwinds that we now face. I strongly condemn any violation of the confidence and responsibilities entrusted to public officials. So I ask of you, citizens, residents, and friends, let us pray earnestly and work with great resolve and steadfast focus on improving our good governance structures and the proper functioning of our public institutions. As we prepare for whatever lies ahead, let us summon all our strength and join in unity to address our daunting challenges and realize the aspirations of our territory for future generations." Up next, Kamal Haynes takes a look at the Park and Go shuttle service instituted this year. Stay tuned.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch and you don't say you were sick? What happened to all wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later.
Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.
Thanks for sticking with us. More than 8,000 persons have already utilized the government's City of Roadtown Park and Ride free shuttle service since its commissioning in early February this year. Our Kamal Haynes recently took a tour with shuttle service supervisor within the Ministry of Transportation Works and Utilities, Ms. Tamika Johnson, and driver Alfred Robinson.
Well, viewers, today we have yet another special segment. It's the City Park and Ride free shuttle service by the government of the Virgin Islands. And today we have Mr. Alfred Robinson and Miss Tamika Johnson, who will basically just give us a full detailed explanation and description of this shuttle service and what have been happening since the launch of the service in the city of Roadtown. So let's take a trip over here first, where I would first speak to Mrs. Johnson. Thank you for having us here today, and basically just to explain and give the viewers somewhat of a more in-depth description of the shuttle service that's being offered by government. So firstly, just speak a little bit about the shuttle service and what persons could generally expect when utilizing this service.
Well, the shuttle service is free transportation offered by the government, and it's transportation around the town. It's just around the town area. We travel from the complex, we go down into Main Street, and then we have a next route where we comes up onto the courthouse and go over to the Red Cross and back down into Main Street and bank areas. That's the areas we're operating on currently, just within the city.
Okay. And viewers, that's just a summarized version of it. We will be giving you somewhat of a full detail. We will be going around the routes today and just giving you that in-depth view so that you, the viewers, can also see what happens on a daily basis. What I'm told is that this shuttle service is utilized every 15 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll go to the driver, Mr. Robinson, now, basically, and he will just give us a walk around the shuttle, the city shuttle. Basically, he will give us a walk around firstly so that we can get somewhat of a in-depth understanding of this vehicle, because it's all part of government's initiative of going green. So welcome, Mr. Robinson. Thank you for having us as well. Speak about the vehicle here and what persons that are not aware of this vehicle, just speak about the features of the vehicle. And I see there's a stereo, I see there's a mic as well. So we'll start with these small little things, and then we'll get into, you know, what makes it so user-friendly when it comes to going green as well.
All right, Chief. Well, like you said, the microphone is talk to the passengers and so on. We have all the gauge here, the voltage that she walk with, that, you know, show you what's going on with the battery and so on. This is what we're working with here, right? Right there we have 4 batteries. You know, keep her going.
So viewers, as he's saying, they have 4 batteries right here right now on this particular side, and this side here we have another 8 batteries as well. So the shuttle is fully operated by battery, and it's also utilized through and recharged through a charging system, which he will also show us as well.
This thing is supposed to run up to 50 hours off a full charge, you know. There we go. Same thing with your house, you know. Okay,
and as you guys can see, viewers, it's a normal, what we will call a normal plug, 3-prong plug, which we will plug into a normal electric circuit, basically. Yeah. And as you said, that it once fully charged, it operates for 50 hours.
Up to 50 hours.
And how long does it usually take to charge?
Security guys deal with it, you know, probably about
overnight.
6 hours, 8 hours, you know, to get a full charge, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Great, viewers. So you can see, viewers, it is also contributing to the environment. You know, is fully battery operated, no exhaust, no emissions, etc. And we can see also here there's some visors as well. And I assume, as you said, this is for the rain as well. When it comes to you know, times when the rain is falling, to stop those persons from being getting wet. Now, I want you to speak to me. You said that there are 4 of these in total, but there's also another one that has more dynamics in terms of air conditioning. 6 in total.
Yeah, 4 open air, right? But we have 2 with air conditioning unit, and they use a little more batteries, you know. They use at least 14 batteries or something, so, you know. All right.
Okay. So viewers know that we have somewhat of a explanation of the shuttle. What we'll do now, we'll get onto the shuttle now, and we'll start our journey basically around the city, where you would see some of the destinations that this shuttle basically utilize on a daily basis. Is every 15 minutes. Could you also give me the time period from when it's operating from? On
7 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
7 in the morning until 6 p.m. Viewers, I'm here with Ms. Johnson. We've already started our journey across the city. So speak to me about this particular route that I'm presently on.
Okay, this route is going to go over to the Red Cross, and we're going to go down to the highway. We're going over in by BNF and on to where the banks are located. We're going to make a run around the complex, and we'll be back up on the road next to Clovers, and then we'll take our next route, which is going down into Main Street. So as you get there, I'll direct you somewhere.
Okay, great. And I'm sure viewers, you would also get a glimpse of this particular route, because you'll take another route where the camera will be just spotted on the road, so you can see exactly what we're referring to.
Capture one of the stops right here.
Okay.
Where persons would wait for the shuttle right here.
And there's also, so there are basically stop signs through different areas of where persons can wait for a particular shuttle. Yes, so you can't just wait any place for a shuttle.
There are specified areas that we have up signs. That's the areas you'll stop and wait for the shuttle. And that's also the areas we'll drop off passengers as well.
So also talk about the statistics so far. I know that's obviously a huge thing for a lot of persons. They want to know how many persons would have been frequenting and utilizing these services since they would have been rolled out, because we do know that the whole point of the initiative is to have less traffic through Road Town. You know, so speak about those numbers so far, if you have any of those statistics.
Okay, we started out in late January of this year, and as we start out, the first couple of days was a bit slow, but as times passed by, we was surprised with the amount of persons. I will give you the count for the month of February. The month of February, we had 3,229 persons using the shuttle, just alone in the month of February so far. So the shuttle is being utilized. A lot of persons is happy about the shuttle and able to park and catch a shuttle to different locations in town and move around frequent without traffic. So it's been very successful so far, I would say.
Okay, so great. So with 3,000 persons utilizing the park and ride free shuttle service, it obviously means that something is going good, is working, because as we can see right now in the Road Town area, there's less traffic on the roadways.
I would agree with that, sir.
Okay. So viewers, what we have here now, we're making our way down this particular road. So what we'll do now is basically do a little switch where we can show you the guys at least the rest of this journey.
I also noticed during the trip that Mr. Robinson had a passenger logbook where he noted the total tally for the entire trip, the gender of the persons, and whether they were adults or children. He explained the purpose of that logbook.
Okay viewers, I'm here with Mr. Donovan yet again, and we have seen him just noting down some stuff on a paper after some passengers would have gotten out. I assume that this is basically documenting how many passengers would have been on that particular trip.
Riding for the day. No, riding for the day. So I just, as we circle, as much trip, male, female, and then to the end of the day, just log it up here, The other day I had 77 passengers, 25 kids, 30 female, 22 male. And this and out of 10 trips.
And that's a very comprehensive statistic breakdown, because what it does, it doesn't only tell you that there were X amount of passengers, it also breaks down the female from the male and also the children as well. Exactly. So I guess all of this information then will be computed into the system to then give a more detailed breakdown and analysis when it comes to whether it be expanding the initiative, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Great. Well, viewers, we have came to the end of our journey here with the free shuttle service in the city of Road Town. I want to thank Ms. Johnson for the very comprehensive display, as well as Mr. Robinson, the driver, who would have basically taken us across the two different routes in the Road Town. Any last words for the viewers and those persons interested in utilizing the service that may be a little bit hesitant initially?
I would say to the public, utilize the service. One of the missions is to have traffic reduced in the town area, because especially around the peak times, you'll see a lot of bumper to bumper. This would help remedy that problem. You can take the shuttle, and it's free. Enjoy it. I would say come out and utilize it as much as you can. Thank you, sir.
Well, there you heard it, viewers, from Ms. Johnson, and also you would have heard Mr. Robinson earlier. On behalf of 284 News, I'm Kamal Haynes. Until next time.
That's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Nia Douglas. I'll see you again as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. Have a great Friday, everybody. Good evening.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
She? I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
The beautiful Virgin Islands, or nature's little secret as some prefer, where the weather stays warm and the drinks stay cold, where men in wigs get their lawyer bills paid by governments and governments lose planes, where walls are built and prisoners escape, You vacation where we suffer. BVI Love.